This is a Not Just A Guy production. Let me talk at ya. Welcome back to Not Just A Guy, hosted by myself, Not Just A Guy, the guy, Garrett Briones, coming to you once again every 2 weeks or so. That is just one, makes a little less work on my part, too, because my editor a little less, a little more buffer time, although she likes to do things right the day before just because she's very busy. I don't begrudge her. I just realized, if you don't know, now you know, this episode is return of video. I found an easier way to do video that it doesn't require me to have to switch an SD card out. We're back to video now. So this is sort of the trial run. Also, I point all that out to say, if you go to the YouTube, you will see that hashtag wet hair Gare. Usually my hair has probably too much product in it, but right now it's all nice and wet for your enjoyment. And it looks pretty good. So, I have the monitor, I have what I'm using for my monitor, and I kind of keep looking over at myself because I'm like, what a dashing young man that is. Hey, how you doing? I love openings like this, where that's the thing I love about this podcast in general is I don't ever really have like a solid plan unless I have a guest. I don't like make notes really. If I have guests, I make notes, which on that front, I have a lot of guests lined up that I'm so incredibly excited about. I've been mentioning that my friend Tristan Herrera, we're trying to get him on. I'm still figuring out the easiest way to do remote recordings, as well as, also figuring out what is going to be the easiest way for my guests to, is it on their computers? Is it on a laptop? Is it on a tablet? What's the easiest way for them to get in? So we're figuring that out, but he's going to be coming on the show. Let's see, who can I say? I can say, because I have certain people locked in. Certain people are more like, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, I would love to be on. We're still just trying to figure out logistics. There's only so many slots left for the rest of the year. Especially that's why I like to have this every other week format. I wouldn't mind eventually going back to sort of trying to do weekly. It's just, for me, doing it every other week is a byproduct of I don't have, like many people, I currently don't have a lot going on creatively. Besides, I'm always working on my audio drama scripts, but I feel like I say that every week, like I'm working on them. I'm doing notes. There's notes. I'm doing a pass. I think after a while that gets a little, I always want to bring a new perspective, and I will talk about the audio drama here in a second, just what I'm going through with that. But I can say the two confirmed people, or three, that are coming on. Nala Clofus, very good friend of mine from film school. She is an amazing actor. I actually just a few keep that in. I don't tell my editor I said this. She likes to cut out some of the little flubs, some of the little moments of humanity. I want you to see, hey, I bleed blue just like you. Actually, cut that. I want you to see that, hey, punch me, I bleed blood too. Nala is just a few months back, I got to see her along with Emily and a few of our friends. We got to see her in a Hollywood Fringe Festival play. But she was great in it. It was all great production. Ghost Can't Pay Rent. It was a great production, great little, I think it was maybe an hour and a half around there. It flew by, literally. Time flew by. It was so entertaining. But she is one to watch. She is someone that I'm going to just say that I'm trying my best to get her in as many of my projects as I can, because I know that people, once more people get eyes on her, she's just going to get snatched up. She's just going to get, people are going to want to cast her in everything. She is a talent. She is amazing. So she's coming on the show. We have a confirmed recording date, and so I'm hoping that will be an October release. Another one that I'm hoping, we're still trying to figure out the logistics of, but they will be coming on, is Sad Girl Cinema. That is Caitlin Scardino and Valenice, a great duo, great producing entity, directing, cinematography, writing. Like these two, between the two of them, they do it all. I'm very excited to have them on. I know Kate through film school, and I know Valenice through Kate, and it's going to be interesting to really, I know them, Valenice's case, I know of her mostly. This will be my first time getting to sit down and really talk to both of them in a long, extended format and really get to dig into their creative partnership and what makes them tick and what kind of stories they want to tell at Sad Girl Cinema. So I'm really excited for those conversations. Those are both tentatively, they're going to be October releases. I have them on the schedule. I'm working out some things with a friend of mine, Felix Malms, and he is a hell of a director. I'm a big fan of his work. We met at film school. Well, a lot of these people, you'll realize, are at film school. But I think that's intentional. One, just because those are the people that I know. But two, as a filmmaker, I've talked about how the podcast, obviously, the stories that I'm struggling to tell, because this is a show about struggling storytellers. Didn't say that up top, but it's on the podcast thing, you see it. But I skew more towards film because I'm a filmmaker, and so a lot of people that I know skew towards that way. But I'm hoping as the podcast grows that I can get in touch with people in other mediums, comic book writers, more musicians. I can get in contact with, I don't know, people that work on video games, like just whatever kind of storytellers that are struggling to tell their stories. That is always, and you know, it's the funniest, something it's interesting to see. I know that it's been hard to, I don't want to say it's been hard to grow the show. I think it's doing well for, brand new podcasts. And, people know me on Geekscape stuff, but I'm not obviously the most well-known person. I haven't had my breakout just yet, but the show is growing steadily. Some episodes are, hit stronger than others. The two most recent, the two before the last one, so episodes with Laura and Emily, those two episodes have done really well. I think people really responded to Laura and Emily. I think they really enjoyed learning about their stories. That's why I think this podcast really lives and dies by guests. And I think when there aren't guests, it struggles a little bit. Obviously, I'm kind of just talking about whatever today because I was hoping to have a guest, but obviously life is going to be life. And I just find it really interesting that when I talk to people about trying to get them onto the show, they keep asking, or they keep telling me or asking me, what are we going to talk about? What's going to be the topic? Or what would you like me to talk about? Or things like that. And I'm trying to find, and I think the most succinct way I can tell them is you're the topic. The show is about struggling storytellers. I want every episode that features a guest to be a showcase for them, pretty much a way for them to let more people know who they are, what their story is, what they're trying to accomplish in whatever their field is. It's interesting. I think that they expect me to be we're going to be talking about mise-en-scène, or we're going to be talking about 180-degree rule, or we're going to be talking about just filmmaking. And I'm no, I think, I want them to know that you come on this show, it's about you. I've actually, when they're just episodes with me, I struggle with what to title them. And even when I've had guests, like Emily and Laura, their episodes were kind of easy to title just because it's the guy's girl and the guy's guy, But, going forward, when I have on a guest, the title is just going to be their name. It's going to be, or a conversation with blah blah blah, or Nala's episode would probably just be Nala Clofus. Sad Girl Cinema's episode would probably just be Sad Girl Cinema, because that's what I want this podcast to be. One, it's a network opportunity for me, but it's insight, and I feel like because this show is so early on, I've spent so much time talking about what I want the show to be, and because I think, and this isn't to toot my own horn or anything, but I think that the show has so much potential to be so many different things. It can be an insight into me and my work, and when I get the audio drama going on, I would love to have my collaborators on the show and talk about what it was like working with me, what it was about the material that drew them to it, not to stroke my own ego or anything like that, but to just give insight into the artist, into the art, all those different things. And ultimately what I think that the show, its strength is going to be. I think I still need to iron out, and I think I need to get better at telling people what the show is, just so maybe we can mitigate the what's the topic going to be. I think that's something I definitely need to get across a little clearer. But I'm so excited. I'm trying to work out getting on some more of my mentors, my teachers from film school. I have one that's a tentative yes. We just need to figure out when he can be on, and then I have another one that I want to reach out to and ask him. I think it would be interesting to learn from the feature and talk about the people that I I learned from and that helped shape me into who I am creatively. I just think that that's something I would like to do. So as far as how the audio drama is going, it is going. I think I'm letting, again, and I always do it, and I always tell myself I won't let this happen. I think I'm letting comparison get to me. I think I really am. I think I'm just I spend too much damn time on social media. I think anybody can. I think many people my age or in my age range can definitely sympathize with that. I'm on there so damn much, and I hate it. But I keep coming back, and I hate it. And I leave it, and I keep coming back. I just think that I'm letting myself. I don't even know how to word it. I let myself just hold on to the stories. Like I literally hold the story. And I just let myself see all these people on set having a great time, and I'm just like, these are non-union shoots. These are short films. Obviously, nothing is going on union-wise, and if there is, you're a little scabby scab. You son of a scab. Seriously, just don't scab. Don't be an asshole. I'm just gonna say it. Don't be an asshole. And then just seeing people working on different things, it's just I know I'm letting it get to me because I'm in such a place right now where it is absolutely killing me that I haven't gotten to make a short film, and I probably not anytime soon will be able to. I mean I have some like no budget ones that I've talked about that I plan on doing, but and I think what really bums me out is I just realize more and more that I don't have my crew. I don't, and that's on me for not cultivating that and really creating that. Like I have people I know I can rely on 100%. I know people I can call that I can ask like, hey, would you want to work on this? But like I truly did not do enough during film school. I did not, and it eats at me, and I beat myself up over it, and it bums me out when I think about it. I just didn't. I didn't do enough shoots, and I should have. The fact that I left there with only about 3 things, and they were all shot during the pandemic. I mean, 4 things, actually, now I think about it. I almost feel like I have nothing to show for my time at film school, and that kills me. And I think that what's getting to me the most is, like, when it comes to short films and things like that, I think a part of me is letting myself get in my own head, like, dude, do you even have this? Like the writing, I got the writing on lock. I do, and I don't even mean that to say like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. I that's not what I'm trying to say. I mean it in the sense of like, I haven't directed something with an actual crew since February 2020. I think that was when it was. It was definitely 2020. And I think it was before my school, before the campus shut down, and I think it just eats at me, and I'll be honest, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared the next time I'm on a set. I really, and I'm in the director's chair. I'm scared. I think when it comes to the audio dramas, because I'm going to be probably directing the whole first season, unless I'm able to find other collaborators that want to tell the stories. That I'm a lot more chill on, because that's something I can do remotely, if need be, depending on the situations of my actors. That's something I can do remotely, and I think that brings a level of comfort. And then that way it's also maybe not too dissimilar to the directing I did during the pandemic, during the height of it, when my school was shut down and I was 3 hours away from there. And I just think that I'm man enough to admit it, and it's something I'm going to have to contend with once I have an actual shoot with a crew. Yeah, I'm scared. I am 100% unabashedly scared of the next time I have to direct a crew. But the thing about it being scary is it's not necessarily a negative, because I get nervous at everything. I overanalyze, overthink, but I always tell myself, and it's true, and it sounds like just like something people say, but that fear, nothing's worth doing if you're not scared, or if you don't have those nerves. That means that you're challenging yourself, and I'm like I said, I'm dying to get back on a set where I'm running the show. But I think that I do really need to get my reps in, and this is all, and it goes back to the making having a crew thing. I have people I know I can rely on. It's just, it is realizing that, people have lives, and I can't always expect people to, and I would never expect anybody to just drop what they're doing at a whim for me. What I hope is that people see my passion. And I think the audio drama is going to be a good way of doing that, is that I'm going to be able to dip my toes back into directing, obviously, but I hope that people see how passionate I am wanting to tell those stories, that it will translate when I need people to help me tell my stories in my visual medium of film. I've been thinking a lot about that and trying to think about what the best way to not let because I think everybody can relate to that sort of, not even necessarily FOMO, but I think a lot it's jealousy. I think, and again, I don't mean that like oh man, I'm so jealous. Oh, I hate them. I'm so jealous of them. I think it's more in a sense of I just wish I was able to be doing that. Man, I wish I got to shoot my thesis. Oh man, things like that. And I don't ever want to seem bitter on this show. That's not what it, and it's not even, I don't feel like that kind of sense of bitterness. I don't view it as being bitter. I want to tell my story so bad. And I enjoy the work I'm doing like that, but it's not related to my field, and I get satisfaction out of it, and it, obviously it pays the bills, but I'm fully getting to that point where it's like, I need something. And obviously it bums me out too that, people, I think that I haven't been there for people when they needed me on shoots recently, and it's kind of shown, the phone isn't ringing, the phone, for people that need me. But I'm always, if people need help, I'm always willing to help. Keep yourself open for the things that you want, I guess, it's kind of a confusing way to put it, but I mean, like, if you want people to help you with crew, then you do the same for them, and vice versa. If people need talent, that's also a thing that was out of fear, and that was me giving into the fear. Is that so many times people would ask me in film school for help on a weekend shoot or to be talent and things like that, and I just let my fear get to me, and I found an excuse, and that again is on me. And I wish I hadn't, and I wish I had helped them out. Maybe I would have more connections. I'm in an interesting place, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm really trying to figure out what it is I need to do. That's a thing. I'm tired of this podcast just being me talking about this in circles, and that's my fault. Maybe I should have waited longer to start the show when I had things going on, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm old and beat up, and I'm working with kids. Yeah, I get so worried that the show is going to come off like I'm just complaining about my situation, or that I'm being, that I'm not taking into account the fact that there's people much worse off than I am. But I really am getting, and I think what I need are my guests. I think I need them to bring something out of me and have fun talking with friends. I think that there's so little headway that I'm making on what I'm doing that I think I just don't want it to seem like I'm complaining, or that this is just like a sad sack show. It's not supposed to be a sad sack show. That's not what it is. It's the struggles, and boy, do I be struggling right now. Creatively, I'm just, you get that feeling of you feel like every bit you climb up, it's like you just fall back. You feel like you're pushing the boulder up the hill, and then it just goes right back down. And I'm trying to figure out what it is that I need to do, or what it is that I'm missing. Is it a creative partner? Is it connections? Is it opening up my network more? What? I don't know. And I think that's what's killing me the most is I need something, but I don't know what it is, and that's what the kicker is. I really don't. There's something that is limiting me, or there's something that I just feel is just really has its claws in me, and I don't know what it is, and I have to figure it out. And yeah. So right now the audio drama it's really, I'm still in those early days, and I think I've already kind of hit not a wall, but I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out the best course of action when it comes to it, I guess. And that, what I mean by that is, I don't know, because it's my first time making an audio drama. Making an audio drama is very much its own beast compared to film. I guess I just don't know. I think it's more so I just need to figure out. I need to figure out my talent. I need to figure out who I can lock in, and then from there, I think it's just a logistics game. It's figuring out, how am I going to get people recorded? That has been the biggest hurdle, is figuring it, and it's something I've kind of figured out. It's already a problem, not a problem, but it's already something I'm encountering with this show, is figuring out the remote recording, the easiest way, the way that's not going to rip money straight out of my pocket and set it on fire. It's the way that is going to be the easiest, and I think I'm also trying to figure out what else do I need behind the scenes to help? It's my first time making the audio drama, so again, I'm learning at every interval, and I think that there is a case to be made that we're making this up as we go, and I'm hoping we'll figure it out. It is actively getting dark as I'm recording, so if you're watching this on YouTube, suddenly I have more of a heavenly glow. That's why. This is why you don't record at the sunset hour, kids, because then you got to remember that lighting. But look at how beautiful, though. You get to look at this radiant young man. Wow, this kid should be in a movie or something. He's so cute. But yeah, that's really where I'm at. I always worry that the solo Garrett episodes maybe don't hit as hard. I always get worried about that. I mean, that's just, I always just worry about even though I shouldn't care about perception and the way I'm viewed and things like that. But I just always get worried that they get like sad sacky, like I said. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this edition of Not Just a Guy. That's also the thing I bums me out, is I feel like these ones are so much shorter because I just am talking about what I have going on, and at the moment that's not a ton of things. But I can't describe how excited I am for some of these guests I have upcoming. I've already been making notes for some that I'm not recording with for like another month. I already have notes done because I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. Oh, I have to make sure I talk about this. Oh, I have to hit this thing. Oh my gosh, I want to make sure I bring this up because I would love to hear about it. I'm so incredibly excited for those. And I'm hoping that those episodes, like I said, my previous guest episodes have done really well. I'm hoping that these future ones will do well as well, and that they will open the doors for more people to want to come on to Not Just a Guy, the show about struggling storytellers. The show has socials. You can follow the show, but also follow the larger Not Just a Guy entity at Not Just a Guy Prod, Prod, on Instagram and TikTok. That's really the only two things I post on for this show. You can find the show there. Obviously, there's a YouTube component. The show's available on all your podcatchers if you'd rather listen. And if you want to see the video, it's on Not Just a Guy Productions on YouTube. You can also just follow me if you want on, what is that thing called? Oh, yeah, Instagram. At Garrett Briones. That is GarrettBriones. I occasionally post stuff. But, if you always want to know what's going on with myself, the show, the audio drama, whatever I have cooking up, Not Just a Guy Prod is a good place to go, or you can follow my main account. Also, I wanted to plug that this Friday, when this episode releases, usually this Friday, I will be on the Geekscape YouTube channel, on Geekscape Book Club. I will be talking Secret Invasion with Christian Blatt. Always have a fun time talking comics. While these strikes are going on, I am not publicly talking about films or TV. We're going to see if video games, there's a vote to whether to strike on those as well. So if that happens, I also will not be talking about video games publicly. Really, the only things that I've been talking about publicly are comics, wrestling, and video games. But yeah, if you want to hear me talk about the Secret Invasion comic book, the comic book written by Brian Michael Bendis and drawn by Leinil Francis Yu, you can find that on Friday. It will air live, and then I believe it will be available. It'll be available on demand. Like I said, I love talking comics. Film is my first love. It's my thing I want to do, but my second favorite medium, comic books. I pick up comics every single week at the comic shop. I'm always ordering some online. I'm always finding good deals on older things on the eBay, things like that. Not going to tell you what I'm looking for because then you're going to try and steal all my deals. I will not let you steal my... But yes, and then you never know. Sometimes I'm just on Geekscape out of whim. It just depends. Well, whenever I'm needed, I'm always around. I'm trying to increase my Geekscape presence to also help grow this show and grow my presence. You never know when I'm going to show up on Geekscape. There's 50,000 Geekscape-related shows you can listen to. Go to geekscape.net to see if any of them intrigue you. I'm plugging Geekscape. This isn't a Geekscape podcast, but I'm plugging them. But that's just because I love Jonathan London. I love Matt Kelly. I love what they're doing over there. Giving voices and giving a platform to voices that maybe wouldn't have that platform, and I love that. Don't hate, create. That's the Geekscape thing. I don't know how this became Geekscape Corner. I was just trying to talk about my comic book discussion with Christian Blatt on Friday. What is that? The 22nd, right? Yeah, the 22nd. That is the 22nd. My comic book conversation of Secret Invasion, the comic book, by Brian Michael Bendis and Leinil Francis Yu on the Geekscape YouTube channel. I believe it is live at 4 p.m. But yes, please check that out. And leave all that in, please, Emily. Just leave all that in. Leave every single iota of that in. But thank you so much for listening and or watching. This has been Not Just A Guy, the show about struggling storytellers, and I have been your host, Not Just A Guy, the guy, Garrett Briones, and I'll talk at you next time. Do we do one of those things where it's like I'm like the credits are rolling and the music is playing out, but like maybe there's like a fog on me and it's like blurred and it shows me